As we came out here, I just noticed that they had this sticker here, and I asked them if they were vets. Are you?
U.S. Navy veterans, both of us.
How many years?
How many years? One tour. I married her when we were in the Navy. So.
Right on. Yeah. Well, it just happens to be Veterans Day, so thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service, veterans.
All right, so we are inside a ambulance, and you guys...
But not on the way to the hospital.
No, thank goodness. We were coming down to find you guys, and I said, has anyone seen the ambulance? And they were all like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I said, no, it's a build-out. So, you guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Kelly.
I'm Jack.
And you guys are full-timers, part-timers? For living in
I would say we don't live in here. We have a place in Oregon, but we're gonna... This is... Kelly just retired, so this is a 5-month trip.
And where are you guys headed? All over the place?
Yeah, not further than Oklahoma City, and then south to Texas, and then back to Arizona. We absolutely love Arizona.
Right. You want to tell them how we kind of met Kelly?
Oh, yeah. So we were getting ready to get on the road, and I was getting a little anxious about being on the road. We've been on the road 6 weeks at one time, but never for 6 months. And so I was getting pretty anxious about the travel, and I messaged Terry on, I think it was your Instagram, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
And so I was asking her, because they just seemed to quickly be in their truck and off down the road, and I thought, she's got to have this nailed down. So I thought I'd just send you a message, and I was absolutely thrilled when you gave me your phone number and let me call, and we talked on the phone. I totally felt excited and so much better about traveling after talking with you.
Yeah, it's a little hard to explain to someone in an email how to kind of get going in this lifestyle, so...
Well, you think about leaving your stuff and your place and everything and really carrying most of what you're going to have with you on the rig for 6 months.
Right.
You think about that. That's a long trip.
And I think the one thing that most of us all do at the very beginning is we bring way too much stuff. But it's just a learning curve. Yeah. And the nice thing is there's always donationaries that you can say, okay, I'm just going to get rid of it and donate it or give it to someone in need, you know. So there's always a way to get rid of it if you brought too much, basically. So we're in an ambulance. How did you guys come about getting the ambulance?
That's yours.
All right. Well, we our other rig we have is an E350 extended high top van that I built out, and we traveled for 2 summers around the U.S. Traveled across the U.S. and around and all that, and then we started talking about going longer term, and so we said, really we need to get something just a little bigger. That was our sense. And so I started looking around, and I was thinking about building an expedition vehicle, like his and hers vlogs, that kind of thing, like that. And I looked at, and I was a commercial fisherman for a long time, and I built boats on the side. So if I can draw it up, I can build it. So I started looking around at what I was going to build, and I actually looked online, and I realized I seen that the structure inside this was very much like the box. This is all aluminum 2x2 framing and welded aluminum on the outside. And so I thought, well, that's what I would build if I was going to build an expedition truck. And then we started looking around at ambulances, and this one was about 7 months ago. It was a active ambulance at the city of Ilwaco, Washington.
Oh, okay. Familiar with that area.
It was surplus, and they put it up for a sealed bid auction. And I drove up and looked at it, and then I put in a bid, and the guy that was managing it, the fireman that was managing it, called me and said, "Hey, you bought an ambulance, come pick it up."
Right on.
And so literally when you got here, it was everything was just like in an ambulance. I mean, we were finding needle caps and all.
Oh gosh, yeah.
There was just stuff in here, but they cleaned it out. They did a good job, but that was where we began, and then it was like, well, what do we do with it? It's like, how do you turn this into a living space where And so we just kind of one at a time. And then Kelly was a lot of help. I mean, she really, we just worked together and just kind of decided what were our priorities. And
yeah, if you're going to live in a vehicle together, a camper, a trailer, whatever, and you're going to build it out, you got to make sure everybody is comfortable in the spot.
Yeah.
You can't just say, well, I'm doing it this way and that's it. You got to kind of share the growth of the whole project.
We've been married 41 years this month.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary. Yeah. We're not quite there, but we're almost there. So, all right. Well, do you want to show me around the outside? We'll take them and give them a tour of the outside, and then we'll come on in and show them inside.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so what year is the... I'm not sure if we mentioned that.
This is an E350. It's a 1993 E350 Class 3 ambulance.
Okay, you want to just give us a tour of the things that you've maybe done out here?
Okay. If you want to stand right there. This texture, because this is still painted, you could still see where it was red, red and white. And the first thing I did was actually took the stickers off, which was a terrible job. They stuck. Oh, they were terrible to get off.
What did you use to take them off? Do you mind?
I used every kind of thing. The gum out, the little gum off, I think it's called. We removed a lot of this. We used a heat gun. We used one of those stripper pads, but it was still just because there was a half acre of stickers on this.
Right.
But this is called Raptor Liner.
Okay.
And it's a urethane, like a bed liner. It's a tintable bed liner, and you can tint it to any automotive color that you want. And our other van was this color, and Kelly liked it. So this is, you mix it with the tintable bed liner, and then it's sprayed here on the outside, and it's very, very tough. It's just like a bed liner. It's a urethane product, so it's pretty rubbery and it's just durable.
Right.
And it's a relatively simple application. I mean, it wasn't extremely difficult to do.
And we do some traveling, we do some traveling going back towards Oklahoma, and they do get hailstorms and stuff, and this will protect the vehicle from hailstorms.
Right. This is, I believe, what Aja wants to do on Pandas, so I'll have to let her know that.
It's really good if the surface is slightly irregular, because it kind of absorbs that a little bit.
Right.
So it's a good material for that.
And where did you find this at? On Amazon or?
You can get it multiple places, but this came off Amazon. It comes in 1 liter bottles, and it's like a little over $100 for 4 liters.
And you did it all yourself?
I did it all myself.
Okay,
yeah.
So it is doable for anybody. Right on. And you don't have your tarps out today because it's a little gusty out here and there's a lot of dust. So
we have ARB awnings on the side. This is an 8-foot ARB awning here. We have a windscreen off of that we can take off of that, and then we have a 7-foot ARB awning on the back, and we have a 3-wall surround for that.
So you can go out the back side?
So you can go out the back side, and we actually
open
use
up our living space.
Yeah.
Shower.
And it's also
Very nice.
where our outdoor shower is.
Okay. And do you only have an outdoor shower?
We only have an outdoor shower. Mm-hmm. There's only so much room in these, and it's like, it was kind of an afterthought, but it works.
Right.
This is an access underneath the bed. Kelly puts her table underneath there, and then I built this little outdoor cooking area. We like to cook outside. We can cook inside, but we like to cook outside if we can. And it just comes off. It's
right on.
It's gone. This is a food grade barrel that I got. In our country, they do a lot of wine, and
oh yeah.
So these things are readily available, and it fits right in there. It's tied down there. We carry some extra stuff, our water hose. And this is a 7-gallon Bosch 120-volt hot water heater that you can take a nice shower with it. So come around the back. Let's see. This is the outdoor shower.
Oh,
pretty nice.
Yeah, that's
just
like ours, pretty much.
Yeah,
very nice.
It's plumbed into the hot water. This is, and you'll see it later on, we have the Nature's Head composting toilet. We're a big fan of that. And this is the exhaust that comes on the outside because it has a computer fan that runs 24/7.
Okay.
That vents that. So this is the awning. Let me see, a little porch light, backup camera there. This is when I my reverse light, my backup light. When I go in reverse, this is a little floodlight. We swapped out some LED turn signals.
Well, I like your turn signals.
Yeah, they're nice. They're very nice. Oh, yeah,
They're kind of neat.
These are
the original?
These are original.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons we chose the ambulance, and it was just sold, is once you see all the outside storage on them, and they're just super high quality. They're aluminum, and all,
Yeah.
aluminum. I carry my tools, an extra propane tank. This is my wife's crafting. You can actually access inside.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. All the way back through there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
She has a little door that she can get in there and do that.
Yeah, that's nice.
And all these doors we have a key for, so we can lock them to keep everything secure.
And they're
it's
all
pretty
waterproof,
stout.
obviously. Right.
Yeah, this was inside, and it was the one thing we could do without. So I'm like, hang it outside. I'll hang towels on it.
Repurposed it right on.
So we have
Boy.
our gray water tanks, 2 of these 14-gallon, or our gray water tanks, and there's my main cord, and the inverter runs off the battery compartment just straight ahead, a little battery charger, and our breaker switches, and then this is where the sink comes down. The sink is actually the sink is actually a stainless kitchen bowl because we couldn't find one that was small enough to go on that countertop.
Right.
So I cut that hole and mounted this whole thing.
Well, I think a lot of the Vanners do that too.
No, it's
Yeah.
it works good.
Right on.
And then you can kind of see here. This was kind of later in the build, but this was the only place on here where there was a 14-inch opening between the frames that support this whole wall. Everything else was only 8 inches, so
Okay.
I could only put it on the side, but I have mostly solar panels and stuff covering the top anyway, and this works so awesome.
That's the first time I've ever seen a fan on the side like
Yeah, it
that.
works
That's
really good.
Yeah, it is great.
Yeah, I like that.
Just because the stove is there, and then the front door and the back door, it just really circulates the air.
Right. I think you're going to give people storage envy. I've already got it going on here.
So we have this was the container that held the oxygen bottles, and so I repurposed the hose that goes inside, so I have plumbed in propane inside here. So I can just swap that out, and then we have a little 2,000 watt generator that we use mostly for Kelly to blow dry her hair occasionally.
Yep, that's what we use ours for. Right.
We have 500. We have 5 100 watt Renogy panels on the roof, and this is 4 interstate lead acid golf cart batteries. They were I got them through a source that I got a good deal on them, and so this is 450 amp hours of battery at 12 volts. These are 6-volt batteries, but they're in series and parallel.
Right, okay.
So anyway, that
he
provides
did-
plenty of juice.
He drilled into the wall to create a vent so that they could gas
I
off
have
without.
vents because they do make
Right.
I think hydrogen gas, and this ventilates. We've never had a problem with it, and so they had to be in a compartment sealed away from any of the living area.
Right.
So on the front, this is our shore power. We can hook up the shore power. I hooked my generator on right here. We have a couple things that we haul, like our extra surround tent and all that stuff up there. And this is, we have a 120 air conditioner that we can plug in. And this flops down so it ventilates the air conditioner when it's in use, but then so I don't get bugs and everything else, it snaps up.
Oh,
right like
yeah.
that.
Boy, that's
This is a
great. Big old floodlight, too.
It was a cabinet door from inside, so he painted it, repurposed it.
And this,
I love that. I love when people take things that they're not using from the inside or the outside and they use it for something else. Yeah.
the name of this, we name our rigs, this is the Endless Summer. So Kelly is a school teacher, and she really looked forward to summer. And the idea is, we finally got to the place. She's retired now, and so we're on the endless summer.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. Well, okay, we've got the dust coming in.
There we go.
The wind is, woo, we got to get out of that. Yeah.
And then
We're going to jump back in here now and show you guys the inside of the ambulance. And it is, the wind is really kicking up out there, so sorry about the noise. All right, so you guys want to tell us a little bit about the front part here?
Well, this part, it has a pass-through to go into the cab. So that was a big feature.
Yeah.
To be able to scoot right in and do that. We don't travel that much in there, but it is available. Of course, this is where these are the electrical panel and the controls for that right there. That's my solar. This is the Renogy Rover charge controller, and it is, I highly recommend it. They're a little bit of money, but I think this is a great controller. It tells me right now my batteries are sitting at 100%.
Yeah, that's nice.
I have 100% charge. Our little cooking area, do you want to talk about this?
Okay.
Okay, the cooking area here, we had different ideas, but essentially we knew we needed to have an interior cooking. This got really high reviews, and I don't know, it was a little over $100 or whatever, but this works really well. And it's plumbed in, the propane is plumbed in hard all around all this, so we don't have to have any little bottles other than our outside bottle.
And the one thing about the stove that we loved was a lot of the cook stoves, you can't get the gas down low enough to keep from scorching whatever it is you're cooking. And this one actually goes to high, medium, and low, but then you can turn back to warm and you really have a lot more control on the burner, and that's what we really liked about that one.
Yeah, our new camper actually has a low setting. Freedom did not. And I was always kind of trying to figure that out. That's a good thing if you're looking for something when you're cooking to think about.
And then this is our refrigerator, and in our van that we traveled in the last couple of years, we had a smaller refrigerator, more like a dorm fridge. It didn't carry a whole lot, so we decided if we were going to travel for months on end, we wanted to have something bigger. So this one is pretty big. It's 7.5 cubic.
7.2 cubic feet for the fridge. And
then it has a freezer down here.
1.9 cubic foot freezer on
Wow, that's
and
nice.
I can actually make ice cubes.
Yes, that's what we love about having our freezer too.
This is called a NovaCool. It's a marine refrigerator, and they're manufactured in Canada. And it takes you have to pre-order them, and we ordered this one just so it fit in here. But one of the things that makes this one special and quite expensive is that it's 120 and 12 volt, but it has a Danfoss compressor in it, and this thing at startup, when it comes under load, it draws a little over 5 amps, and then it cruises at about 3 amps. So it allows me to have a good sized refrigerator that's fed off your solar only. We don't have to plug it in.
Yeah, that's nice.
And this section right here was like these other cabinets, and Jack took the doors off and figured the whole thing, measured it, and had it custom made to fit in there. It was probably the most expensive thing that we put in, but I wouldn't trade it.
Right. Well, paying something expensive for a refrigerator, you could get a cheap one and then it go out or not really hold the coldness, and then you lose food. So that happens a lot.
So this is actually one of the doors that were on that compartment that I repurposed and turned into a little fold.
Oh, neat.
Little fold up so I can do prep cook or if I'm going to be washing some dishes or whatever.
Right. Now, when I came in, Kelly was telling me about the height of the ambulance, and you can't really stand up in here, right?
I can't stand up in here.
Right. Kelly, you want to show them how tall it is up here for you?
Yeah, so I'm wearing tennis shoes, which probably have an inch heel, and I'm 5'7", so I've got just a tad space, and I love it.
Right.
There was some discussion about it, but it didn't take me long to figure out. I knew that this box was what we wanted, and the truth of it is that this is, you live out of your rig, not necessarily in it, and I have a good seat here. This is the regular jump seat, comfortable, and I can do the cooking or whatever, and it's usually one of us is here, and this is a nice little day bed right here, so it allows us to, I spent almost 20 years in fishing boats, and so this is a lot roomier, and there's always a trade-off,
right?
And this one we were willing to make. It doesn't really bother me. It's like it's not in my mind anymore.
I think we had some discussion. We like to watch Adventure Van Man, and he's in a van, and there's a lot of people in vans that are not high top vans that they can stand up in, and I think watching them was one of the discussions that we had was like, well, his van isn't one that you can stand up in, but he functions.
Yep.
And I think that's what we looked at and decided that for the floor space, because that's what was really important to us, is having as much floor space and not feeling crowded, and decided that it was a trade-off we were willing to make to have more elbow room.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a, you want something kind of pretty, and I do tile.
Oh, we got a peekaboo here.
Oh my lord!
Come on in. Yeah, it's a little dusty out there.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Scott hasn't been in here yet. Yeah, I think the trade-off, I think that we all get accustomed to whatever,
okay.
You can be in a small place, you can be in a big place, and you just get used to it. Yeah. People ask Scott and I all the time, how do you deal with such a small area? Well, for one, I'm totally in love with the guy still, so but you get used to your surroundings. It doesn't take long to figure out, how to work things, and and you can always go out inside in the beautiful weather.
And we've had good weather here. We've had wind, but we've also had some great days. Yesterday
absolutely,
beautiful day.
Yeah.
I mean, and if it's raining outside, then you're usually sitting down anyways inside doing something. Right. So yeah.
Right. I do tile on the side. I've done quite a bit of tile, and we wanted something that was kind of durable and we could wipe it off. And so,
it's beautiful.
And so we used a little subway tile on this, and this is actually adhesive. This is all aluminum. Everything inside here is aluminum that you see. And so I used adhesive silicone rather than grout, or rather than regular polymer mortar on this, and it sticks like grim death. It's not going to come off. But it still remains a little flexible, and I could replace one of these just by popping it off and replacing it. And we got some little, I think they're called Talavera Mexican tiles to inset, and then we picked this kind of bright color to go kind of juxtapose the gray and the white here.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And all these cabinets that you see, that even the countertop, everything, it was all part of the ambulance.
Yep.
And the tinted windows I loved, and so we just opted to keep them all because they're all useful. These up here and all these down here.
Well, you can see what you have. Yeah. It's kind of neat.
Without seeing everything.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it came with all those, huh?
Yeah.
That's so cool. Oh,
that
one
see all
even
of their
slides, and then you can open it up as a huge thing.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
They're all open. And then you've got a nice little fire. What are they? I don't know what those are called.
This would be, it's like a small fireplace. It's propane. It's hard plumbed in here. This is a marine fireplace, and often you'll see them in like a sailboat or something like that. So we had it running last night. There's a little flame that flickers in here. It has a 12-volt fan that that you can kind of turn on right there. But the cool thing about it is there's a little chimney top up here. It intakes the air for the combustion, comes down through this pipe, and then in the center there's a 1-inch exhaust. So essentially this is a self-contained. It does not, it's like a buddy heater would put moisture in the air or do all that, catalytic heaters, but this one doesn't do that. It's completely sealed, so it doesn't put anything in here.
Wow.
They're expensive, but I spent a lot of time on boats, and I just know that's...
I've seen them on boats before. I wasn't sure what the name of them were.
And we've been in RVs.
They're Dickinson is the manufacturer.
We've been in RVs before, where the condensation builds up, and it's so annoying because your pillows or your blankets or your clothing get wet, and we didn't want that, but this produces a dry heat, so we never have that moisture in here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Very
when
cool.
we're in that colder weather, that's what our windows are.
It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
If somebody asked me what is the one thing that you don't like about living in a camper, it would be the moisture during the cold season.
And we haven't experienced that yet.
Yeah.
This is kind of interesting. I have a way too loud 12-volt pressure pump, but this is, if you ask, we were talking about what are the things that you really are happy you put in, and this is one of them. It's a triple filtered water system, so we don't have to buy bottled water or whatever. So this and we use this a lot, and you fill up your water bottles to cook out of it, And you can still have this for your washing or whatever, but this is really cool. So it saves us a lot of
Purified
money and hassle.
water.
Yeah,
We might have to look into that.
And it's
Put one
really
like that in there.
It's really not that expensive. This was maybe $100, something like that, with the whole filter system and this.
Really?
And this thing here
Well,
right there.
when you're traveling, you're getting your potable water sources from many different places. We notice a difference in even the taste of it. Even though ours is filtered, we filled up in 3 different places, and we could tell the difference in the taste of the water. But at least I knew I wasn't getting any poison.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm spoiled when it comes to water, so I
Well,
drive
we come
Scotty.
from the land of good water.
Yeah,
Right.
wells, that's what we have a well.
That's right, Oregon and Washington. We've got good water.
And one of my favorite things in here is having this stove. It really provides an amazing ambiance. In the evenings, when you go in, it's dark at 6:30 or 7. This bed is a full-size bed, and it folds out on a piano hinge. And then we get the bed all made up, but then we put our pillows against the wall, and the furnace is going with a little flame, so it's like a little fireplace.
Yeah, right.
And we sit and read our Kindles, and it's really nice. That's my favorite part, and it blows the heat out, so it's toasty when it gets a little nippy out at night.
Well, and being in an ambulance, you guys have more lighting than anyone I know in a rig.
All of that is actually
got tons.
been replaced from the ambulance lights, because those were halogen lights, and they were huge power suckers, and they were so hot. These were fluorescent, but these were all that halogen. So I actually pulled the lenses out and repurposed and bought these LED puck lights and reinstalled. Everything in here is now LED,
Now,
so I don't have
weren't
any
these
of
the what do you call them? The
They were
tube lighting?
fluorescent. I just pulled them
Fluorescent
out and
bulbs,
just mounted everything up in the receptacle.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah,
The only time we really use these here is if I'm sitting here and I'm doing some sort of embroidery or cross stitching or something where I need a little extra light because it's directly above me. Otherwise, we pretty much use these and the one under the sink. We don't need a lot unless there's something specific that requires more light.
Right.
But
And
it is
then
nice to have it.
yeah, and what are they called? Puck lights?
Yeah, they're usually just a round LED light. They're not really very expensive. They suck very little juice out of the battery, and they last forever. So
Yeah, they're really neat. I love them.
Yeah.
And so then, do you guys want to talk about your toilet? Because everybody's always interested about how all of us RVers go to the bathroom.
Well,
I'll trade you here.
We are a big fan of Nature's Head composting toilets. This is the second one we've owned, and essentially everybody kind of knows how they work. But the bottom line is they separate the urine, goes in this bottle right here, it's a little over 2 gallons, and then there's solids go into the back. There's a mechanism that opens it up. It goes in there, and then you rotate it, and the medium that we use is peat moss, like nice dry peat moss. And for two people, this would go perhaps 2 weeks in here, and then this we tend to find a vault toilet or something like that every few days, and we carry an extra container in case we need to do that.
Yeah, that's good.
So this is really for a simple installation, and it has a 12-volt fan that you can't see, but it actually plugs in the side over here. There's a computer fan, and it evacuates the solids portion of this all the time. So it is pushing whatever is creating a negative vacuum. It's pushing it out. So I'm going to tell you literally smell nothing. Okay?
Right. And that was that vent that you showed us outside.
That's the one. And at home, I have a rotating composter, and then I put that in there, and it will, my 55 gallons will last like 4 months. And then I use it to plant like bamboo. I like bamboo, and so I'll plant bamboo with it. And literally, at the end of the thing, when it's composted entirely, you see nothing, okay? Everybody's afraid, like, ooh, what are you going to see? Well, guess what you see? You see what you buy at, at a feed store as fine compost. That's what you see. The toilet paper completely dissolves. There's no solids left. It is just like really fine mulch.
Right.
And it just smells like peat moss. That's all it smells like. Well, and this is like... That's the pump. Telling me it needed a little bit of pressure.
Okay.
But, these things, they're not cheap, but for what they produce, they're $960. You won't find a better deal on it. Okay, but it is invaluable. It saves you so much trouble and so much weight, because if you think about everything you're flushing down, then you have to carry it around, then you have to dump it. This is a little more manageable for us without having the big tanks and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because it's all in one. Everything's right there. There's no plumbing underneath
There's
it.
nothing.
Like
This is it. What you see is what you get.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's very functional, Scott.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that this is an effective, and then once you buy it, you won't have to. That's it. There's no other cost or expense. We just use single ply toilet paper. Boom, boom. Oh, then there's a little thing with vinegar, a spritzer bottle that comes with it, and you spritzer the urine receptacle piece of that, just a few shots of it.
Oh, and it's just a vinegar mix.
It's 50-50.
Okay.
50% vinegar, 50% water.
And then you have no smell problems or
none at all.
That's good information.
The funny thing about it, when we first got it, I remember feeling like I should be hearing a swoosh. I should be hearing the water. And so it seemed like I was like incompleting the process.
Right.
But eventually it didn't take long that we got used to using it, and it's...
Now it seems strange to flush something.
Right.
And it's so nice. We've been in rest areas that were just filthy. Yeah. And we stop and I'm like, yeah, go right ahead. I'm going to be in here.
Yeah. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. They don't want somebody
Scotty will go and use the bathrooms. I kind of am like that too. I like my own bathroom. Very cool. Well, is there anything else that you guys can think of you'd like to show them, or?
Well, and I just wanted to just add that the reason we don't have a YouTube channel, and we wanted to have you guys put this on YouTube, because we have searched and searched as we were preparing to build this, and there's very few detailed videos out there on ambulance, on a conversion.
Right.
There's some, but not a lot.
Not very many, and so we thought it would be kind of cool to have somebody that does have a channel be able to put that out there for those that are interested in.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity for sure.
This right here is one of the things that I would say we're happy we done, is we put a Wii Boost. It's got an omnidirectional antenna on the top, and we can turn essentially here where you're barely getting a scratchy 1-bar deal.
Right.
We get 3 to 4 bars inside here. So it pulls it down, it magnifies a signal here, boosts the signal here, and then that's a little antenna that we can actually move around. And that right there is how, essentially out here you're living on your telephone or whatever. So
right. That has been our biggest problem out here, is getting our videos up.
Service, period.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely.
Well, that is one way that you can improve it. It's $500, and it's the RV one.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll see some videos on it around, but it definitely works. I got a brother who's a Verizon technician, and he said, "Oh yeah, you want that."
Okay,
and we were correct.
That's good information. Well, you guys, thank you so much for letting us into your life in here.
Well,
and once again, happy Veterans Day, and thank you guys both for your service. We appreciate that. They're both vets.
Oh!
So. And it just happens to be Veterans Day.
I remember that. That's right.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.